Officially live. I'm going
Who's
to do the official thing.
God damn it. Well,
Yeah.
welcome everyone to the Div 8D recap. We are doing it the other way around this time. I'm joined by that crunching sound. I'm not sure why I have that. And an actual guest as well, Dreamifi is here from the Div 8D, so that's going to be fun. That's the moment where you're supposed to say hi, Dreamifi.
Hi, when you talked. Doesn't that work?
Well,
We will coordinate better in the next minutes.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
just
yeah,
remember that this is very amateur.
and this is important and professional. So yeah, let's go over the past week 3
Come
of the
on, Chinch,
division.
you can wait half an hour, eh?
I mean, we always do this recap, we just do it in the different order this time. We start with the lower div. So yeah, Div 8D week 3. First match, we had Pete taking another 3-0 victory over the Chakwa Lions.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, at this point it's like, it's surprising when he won't get a 3-0 win.
Yeah, Stickhast did a really good job denying that third touchdown.
But you have wrote a report on this match in the GMan, in the Rebel News thingy. Would you like
Yeah,
to talk about it a bit?
yeah, sure. Let's see. I'll bring it up for memory. So I originally wrote this like for the recappers, but then I was so happy with it that I made an article about it. Well, of it. Well, yeah. So basically, there was a blizzard, so Shaq Alliance chose to, and then they went for the ball straight away. Like there was a failed pickup, and they blitzed through the line and high pressure. But the "Don't mess with us" showed why you shouldn't mess with them, and KO'd the blitzer, stole the ball, and the pressure kept the Shack Alliance kept under pressure, and pushed pushed Pete teams to the sideline basically. But then. They decided to take a bunch of blocks and Pete could just advance, and then they kept fighting and fighting and fighting, and but Pete had all the pitch control and controlled the touchdown zone and could stall it out.
Yeah, like, you know that the coach is pretty good when he was able both to maximize his blocks and be able to always keep himself in a very strong pitch position. And I think Pete really showed that in this match, because he was able to get those hits and use his mighty blow, but he never really he never gave up on the ball at all. He pretty much was
Yeah.
always 100% into the ball game, which was quite an interesting watch. And
Yeah.
I like,
I,
you know, like, you understand why Pete was able to win GMan 1 so long ago. Like, I believe it was season 5, when you see this play on a rather fresh Dark Elf team.
yeah. Yeah, that was impressive, and I guess that's why, because I think Shack Alliance misplayed a little bit when they didn't block off the movement forward. But then again, they would have had to give up on blocks and make a lot of dodges to do it. So I guess they were already at that
Yeah, like,
point, maybe.
if you dodge away and don't take the block, then you're missing blocks, and it's tough to actually recover from your bad position. And if you do take the blocks, then you might, like, Pete is just going to run it in eventually, and you will lose
But
quite heavily.
but this was, but I mean, before Pete got advanced on the sideline, because he was, after the initial pressure, he was like kind of squished with the ball to the side, and a lot of players were based, but not on the side. So I think what Shaq Alliance should have done there was to dodge out and then blitz and pressure the sideline cage and try to make that a steal.
Yeah. Like, the fear with
But
playing against the sideline is that there is the self option for the Dark Elves as well, which
Which
is why
one?
Dark Elves are so good.
all right, that's true.
Yeah, like,
And anyway, so after that, the Shaq Alliance were completely outnumbered
yeah.
against 11 in the second, at the start of the second half, and Well, Pete just styled on them,
That-
completely locked them down, knocked everyone down, and then did a lot of vanity passes. And
That's a lot of SPP. That's
How
20,
how many how many is a lot?
23 SPP. That's quite.
Oh yeah, that's farming. Farming style. Of course, if you win 3-0, make casualties and make passes. No,
yeah,
Yeah. So yeah,
you're
another
getting
great match for Pete. He's definitely on his way to the top of the division, but he's not there alone yet. So yeah, next up,
guy.
the Marvelous Mutants took a 2-0 victory
I know these
over
guys.
the Bonehead Bunch. Yeah, I know these guys as well. They took a block instead of actual fun skills.
Yeah. Couple of blockers, and in fact, one of the blockers died this game, so it was not such a big deal.
Well, 3 died.
It was kind of silly game because it was rookie chaos, rookie fun chaos versus let's say crippled ogres because they lost one ogre at the beginning of the season. It was two ogres, sorry, four ogres instead of five. Still, this was more than enough to basically destroy the chaos team by killing three beastmen. One of them was a big loss for my team actually because it was 12 SPP beastman who had even made a casualty that game. It was a 14-1 and who got minus armor or minus movement at some point. So I used the apple, turning into badly hurt. He or she went back for the second half, and then she was killed straight away by Big Dave, I think.
Oh,
So it was kind of sucky for
Yeah,
me.
like, yeah,
I'd
someone
never play
dies.
against ogres. Yeah, someone died. I thought the Snotlings exploded, so it was
Yeah.
pretty much fun. The first turn, two of them were already out. So I was saying, okay, this is going to be kind of easy, but it was not. Because the Snotlings refused to get stuck by tentacles. That was quite annoying. They had
That's
a
impressive.
50% rate of avoiding tentacles. So 3 out of 6 attempts I
wow.
got the statistics. That's what I was like, really annoying. Was no, I want to kill you, man,
Uh,
but I cannot because you're dodging away.
do you remember how much it actually is like likely to avoid tentacles from that match?
9 plus for a Snotling
Oh, so
versus a
that's
Chaos
like
Warrior.
28%.
Yeah, but that 28% turned out to be
I mean, it's
kind of
50-50. It either works or it doesn't. Like, the statistics are perfectly fine right here.
It's proven now.
no, it was not. And then it was such a silly game because okay, at the beginning I was trying battering this team, and then the tables turned and he started killing my guys. And eventually I was up 1-0 in my drive, and then in his drive it started raining. He didn't pick up the ball. I was able to pick up the ball myself and put it on a Chaos Warrior just to give him 3 SPPs that he needs a lot because he was in nil after 6 games or 7 games. And then he made such a funny play. He just picked up a random Snotling, throw him away. He landed like 4 squares, 3 squares away from the ball carrier. He dodges in between all the players in the world, and then he blitzes him 3 die uphill.
Did he
And
foul?
he brings him down. And it was like, okay, come on.
Wow.
Both players went down. And the Snotling, I think he was able even to he stunned the Chaos Warrior with that blitz with the Snotling. It was the strongest Snotling in the world. It was like, oh come on, why?
That's straight up rude.
Yeah, and
That's a hero. Hero Snotling.
well, it didn't prevent eventually the score from the Chaos Warrior, but it was
Well,
kind of funny. And
Like,
yes, I won my man AD. Woo! I'm so happy. So I'm not going to end in the season with 0 points. But yes, I paid the iron price,
yes.
because 2 beastmen.
yeah, pretty
One
good.
of the beastmen was a loner, but the other 2 were already rostered players. So I lost like 15 SPPs this game. And
But
if you
you
see my
gained.
team, 15 SPPs kind of. Yeah, this is a lot of SPPs. So I'm happy because it was like 17 or 18 SPPs into Chaos Warriors. That was the big
Ooh.
new. And Suction Sullivan got the MVP. And yeah, how was this? Grizzly Griselda died. Oh, Chloe McClaw bring down an ogre himself. That was cool too. But
Yeah,
yes,
Doing his job.
good news for T is that he leveled 3 ogres.
Amazing.
that's a pretty
So it was
good
a
game.
it was a good game for both of you then on the total.
It was a fun game. That's the important thing. So yes, it was a good game, and then we both got something. So that's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Seanman, thank you for the raid, and yes, we are doing it the other way around. So this is ATD. It's even in the title. But yeah, that was probably a very fun match. Like ogres are always fun to play against, I think.
Yeah, they are. T is a very funny guy, and he's a top dude, and we were having laughs and just going for the silly plays at times. It was it was cool.
Funny and scary at the same time.
Mm.
That's ogres.
Always funny and scary, because T has this piling on ogre that he was using brainlessly. He was bleaching with him all the time and piling on, no matter the armor breaks or whatever.
I'm pretty
And
sure it's
Big
called
Willie
the
made
Papa
3.
Nasty.
Yeah, Papanasi style worked because he basically killed 3 players himself.
That's he got
Called
Juggernaut.
Big Nasty. Well, it's called Big Willie, but it should be called Big Nasty.
Big nasty, yeah. Actually, yes.
Well, next match we have the Sci-Fi Sorry taking a 3-0 defeat to the House Fairy Balls. So, Dreamifi, you won 3-0.
Yeah, that was really lucky, but also, well, the 2 extra touchdowns were lucky. Shall I tell you about the game? I
You
guess.
should.
Please.
Well, if you don't want to, we can just not. I'm not going to force you. Matt,
Yeah.
like elves are being fed here. I will agree, but we need good elf teams because GMan 1 has too much claw.
Elves are so OP in this division because it's like there's it is unstoppable. I'm almost unstoppable. Macaulay stopped me a little bit. And Shakwa Lions aren't doing too well, but they only lost to elves and dead elves.
No. Well, dead elves are like cheating elves.
Yeah.
But dead elves are still elves, right?
Yeah, and like even the green elves are doing quite well.
Oh, there's green elves?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do have green elves. Green elves, best elves.
Okay, so anyway, House Fireballs against Sci-Fi Sorai. So are their fans, and they made a mistake of making a based cage, which I was able to exploit, and the dice were with me, so I got the ball. And then I had a player like on the other side of them, a blitzer, because he had been hunting a skink, and then they had been beating on him and fouling on him, and then they left him alone because it took too much time, and he wasn't dying. And anyway, I passed to him over the Saurus's heads on a 4+, and got a secured score on his half.
Oh, that's a good
And
start for a game.
That's pretty good, yeah. And then they had another drive though on the same half, and I think because maybe a bit of lack of experience from Cthulhu Collector, because he didn't really move forward fast enough to really be able to score. He moved almost far enough, weren't in scoring range in the end, so that was a bit
crap
of a problem. So then my my half then that was I was getting a little bit outplayed in that one for a while actually, because I did a rookie mistake. I did a 3-gap screen that you can just run through.
That's not a screen. That's just like players on the field.
Yeah.
yeah. But I thought I had a screen, but I messed it up. And he ran and based the ball with the Croxigor.
Oh.
I've been a GFI, so, and also that Croxigor kind of split my team in 2 at the same time. So that was bad, but I was a little bit bailed out. I was able to knock down the Kroxigor, but I didn't break the armor either on the blitz or the foul, so he could just stand up to split up my team. I made with half of the team. Then I made a cage that kind of moved backwards because I was moving on one of the side and it was blocking it off. And then, very unfortunately, he had a very bad misclick.
Did he dodge with the Crocs?
He cage dived with the Crocs unintentionally.
Oh. Okay.
I blitzed a corner, but he instead he cage dived, and that didn't work. And he didn't move his players before that. So then the whole side, the other side that I was trying to advance on first, was entirely open, which, you know, so that's a combination of a misclick and him not really moving the players before he acted. So that's something you can work on, but the misclick, you know, that happens. That's just really unfortunate.
Yeah, but sometimes like the Kroxigor goes up to that player and just 1-in-9s instead, which would pretty much provide the same result, I assume.
Well, yeah, well, 1-in-36 in this case, because it was Saurus blitzing a cage corner, and it would have been a 2 dice, and he had a reroll. Well, yeah, well, 1-in-36 well, maybe not 1-in-36, less probably, but yeah. Anyway, so I was able to make that a score for 2-0, and then he had another drive, and then. There were 2 pitch invasions in this game, by the way.
Oh, that's nice.
That's the thing you should.
That's fun.
The first one was on the first turn of the first drive, which kind of helped me because I took less line of scrimmage blocks. And the second one was here after I was already leading 2-0. And in this case, it in combination with a failed pickup meant I could threaten the ball and do bullshit, basically.
Yeah, that's at times when you're already behind, and like, you also get to play with like half your team for the first turn, because why not?
Yeah, and on the final turn of the game, after a bunch of taking the ball, getting blitz, losing it, and again, I was able to, in a very unlikely way, score a touchdown again. I was blitzing from a prone position, surrounded by lizards, that I canceled enough assists to get a 2 dice on the ball carrier, and I needed a POW. And I didn't get it on the first roll, and I re-rolled it, and then it bounced in a way so I could pick it up, and then I scored.
Oh, well.
And leveled my catcher.
Yeah, I see that he's gotten block, and he's also a David Bowie catcher, so I quite like him.
Yes, we approve.
He scored 2 touchdowns this game.
Oh.
One of them was the last one.
You also have quite a bit of money on the team. I assume you're going to go for another catcher.
Yeah, maybe. Probably. Yeah. I'm definitely going for another catcher. I'm not sure if I should buy it for the next game or for the game after that.
No, I think you should.
I think next game I
buy him a sap.
Well, let's reach.
Yes, an unleveled catcher is kind of
it's a hint.
And I wanna
times. Yeah. That's true, but it's so fast.
Yeah, the speed would help. But I'm thinking in the next game I wanna focus on leveling Elenion so I can get tackle against the undead game after the next game. And so I'm wondering if I should wait with buying the catcher or not. But probably the speed is good enough, so it's worth buying anyway.
Yeah, and it's also a bench, which is nice.
Oh, it is, right. Yeah, that is nice. I should do that then.
Well, let's go over into the next match. Toast Guy, with interdimensional bullshit, took a 1-0 victory over the Chorfs. Not too surprising. This is a matchup which is very tough for the Chorfs at this TV level. Like, undead are just too strong with those mummies, and that mighty blow can cause damage.
Have a look at the removals.
I mean, 2 KOs each.
So I watched this game, but I wasn't very focused when I watched it. And anyway, it was a lot of fighting and very little damage.
Yeah, that's what you expect from 100 blocks into 4 KOs.
Yeah, and both coaches focused mainly on the violence, but like Toskai kind of sneaked in a bit of positioning there, similar a bit to Pete, that he got blocks and positioning at the same time, and that way Toskai was able to score in his half, and Cass was not even able to get any movement at all in his half.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the speed of goals is actually pretty useful for this matchup, because if you're really in a tough spot, you can afford to dodge. But even if you carry on a bull center who is about as fast as a goal, like he's never going to dodge,
Right.
and the pickup is less likely. So it's quite a nice
Cheeky
matchup for the
plays in the
undead.
second half too. There were a lot of cheeky plays in the second half too. Like I remember one time Toskai, Shane pushed his so he could get a block that then he could follow into marking the ball
Ooh, I
and
like
stuff like
can
that.
push plays. But yeah,
And yeah,
a good result for those guy. For the last match, a draw between the intellectual chaos and the innuendo bingo. So I believe it's Mato versus Mikali into a
yeah,
1-1 draw.
Macaulay versus the Green Elves. Yeah, but they're not very elfy. The Chaos were pretty elfy actually in this game.
Yeah, like a lot more blocks for the orcs, and they are also rewarded with damage.
I
Quite a
brought
big.
a report on this one too, so I think I should get the report and say a bit of highlights. So the game started very special because it started with a blitz action and a short kick on the wide zone that wasn't guarded. The Chaos team could attempt to catch their own kick, which you don't see that every day.
Yeah, I usually see that with Skaven.
Or elves or something, but this time it was a Chaos Warrior doing it. And he didn't catch it though, so that basically became a scrum where they were fighting for the ball, but Macaulay kind of lost his offensive drive that way because it was a ball that was contested immediately instead of a ball that he had. Intellectuals Chaos eventually won that scrum and scored.
Oh.
And so they in the and then Macaulay was not able to score on the rest of the time. He didn't have that much time left after that, and Intellectuals Chaos Mato defended well, and the roles weren't for Innuendo Bingo. So it was 1-0 in Innuendo Bingo's half, but then on the next half it turned around because then Mato was hit by a pretty bad dice because he failed pickups 4 turns in a row, burning all 3 of his rerolls. So that's like what is it? Like 7 failed pickup rolls on a 3+ in
Happens
a row.
every time.
That
Every
sucks.
fucking time.
Uh-huh.
And at the same time, then Macaulay was bashing on him and removing players, and I think I'm not sure. I'm not sure really because I think there were some positioning involved in that, and maybe Macaulay was outplaying him a bit in the bash department that way. I don't know really because there were a lot of coach. So I'm not really good at that, but there were a lot of Mato standing his players up and then just taking a beating again.
Oh.
Well, like sometimes
to
you.
pretend to defend the ball because it was on the ground and not picked up.
Yeah, like you want to stall the opponent, especially when you cannot pick up, but like eventually it costs you in taking 20 block mores, and you kinda expect damage to come onto the chaos when they are so much down on blocks.
Yeah,
Like
and it really did. So after that, the numbers advantage for Innuendo Bingo was so big that there was almost nothing the Chaos could do. So the Chaos just pranced forward and took the ball and scored. In the next offense, where Chaos had like 6 players, I think, the crushed them again really fast and moved forward towards the ball. But then Mato did something kind of smart. and he picked up the ball and he long bomb punted it into Macaulay's field, so the Chaos would have a really hard time scoring. So it
Yeah.
could end.
You just throw it very far and the orcs are too slow.
Yeah, that's a good trick.
And they weren't quite too slow, because they could run back full speed and run forward full speed and then do some kind of pass handoff play, or maybe run back, pass, and then run forward play.
Yeah, but
Something like that would have worked.
like when a pass is involved, you know the dice is going to be difficult.
Yeah, but the long bomb punt was pretty dicey too.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, and it was difficult. And he ran back with a blitzer, and he picked up the ball, and then he GFI'd once with that blitzer to get a little closer. I suspect he was planning to pass there, but I'm not sure. But he double won on that GFI, and then he didn't have enough time to score.
I mean, that's every orc GFI ever.
So that was a 1-1 with both teams scoring on each other's halves, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, it happens. It's more common in the bash where you see like I only score on your half and you only score on my half, and it's really weird.
And I was also really impressed by Mato's play there.
Yeah.
Both when he managed to steal the ball in the scrum, and because there were a lot of clever plays involved in that, and the long bomb punt was a good idea and a good play.
Like, this is a very nice matchup to get a draw even, because you're pretty much playing against the same team, but better, because like orcs have like same amount of strength as you, but they also start with free block on blitzers, and they can just push forward for guard, pretty much first kill, which is really good.
Well, in Endo Bingo don't actually have guard, but they did have like block on almost every player. Oh, they have a little guard, I guess.
They have 2 guard, and 2 guard matters. Especially...
They have one in this game, though, I think, but I'm not sure.
They have more guard and more block, especially in the strength 4 players, so they have the strength advantage. I always have issues or difficulties, let's say, when I play with my low TV Chaos against low TV Orcs, because they are better, simply as that.
Yeah. Well, with that, let's go for the next week and look at the matches. Vikingkop, explain yourself.
You want me to explain this game? Because I have an add-on to say, because I have just noticed like 2 minutes ago, and I was on mute with my microphone cursing a lot in the room. Okay, I had it was a tough game because I was facing Pete's Dark Elves, who were actually a good team. Don't have a look at them yet, please. He had like a Mighty Blow Tackle Blitzer, so he has a hitter, let's say, with a double. He had a Bloodstep Blitzer and another Blitzer. I barely have block, of course I don't have tackle. And he has a Wrestle Witch Elf, okay? And a plus agility lineman. So this is kind of dream start for elves. He has 3 rerolls, he has everything fine. And I have only, you see, 3 blockers, 1 with tentacles who are a fake skill, and 1 Chaos Warrior with claw. So that's what I have. 11 players, and I say, okay, let's go for this. I win the fame at the beginning of the game. I get +2 in the fame, so it's kind of okay. At least I'm going to get some money, and in the kickoff events, I'm going to have some advantage. So let's see what happens. The coin is tossed, and I win the toss. And I say, okay, no way I'm going to defend against elves. I'm trying to go all in and hit them and cause some damage, because otherwise he's going to sweep me around. Okay, so well, I get the attack. He sets up in defense. I set up in attack. He gets a perfect defense, so he's able to avoid most of my blocks in the first round. I need to screen because the kick goes to the sideline. I have to move all of my players to that place. I fail the pickup. Okay, never mind. And then he advances on me heavily. I am barely able to pull back. I put my bribe to use already in the second foul I make. I'm able to bring the Witch Elf down with a lucky pow. And then I foul her like with 3 assists for 2 times. The first time I made a stun. The second time the bribe is gone. No damage. I keep hitting. Tentacles basically doing almost nothing. And eventually he sets up a chain push that I did not realize. That was my mistake, and he frees one Blitzer with the ball, basically, and he's able to stall. So I decided, okay, he's going to stall. I'm not going to be able to remove or get close to the ball because he's basically basing me with Blood's elves. So I'm going to hit them and try to get some damage. Get a couple of removals, but only in my team because I get 2 send-offs in a couple of fouls. What it really sucks. And he scores in my drive in turn 8. It's like the perfect start for him. Okay, then second half begins. He gets 2 out of 2 KO rolls. I get 1 out of 2 KO rolls. That's kind of sucky, but okay. And then I don't remember very well what happened, but after a couple of hits in which he... the kickoff event is a rock. Okay, but despite I have +2 fame, I eat the rock myself. And one of my beastmen is stunned. At least he's stunned. He's not dead for the moment. So he moves, he hits another beastman, stunned. I think that the armor break ratio that he had was like kind of impressive. I had to check the figures after the game in one Sun Schools, and yeah, definitely the ratio of armor breaks and the ratio of injuries in his favor was appalling for me and me.
Yeah, it's pretty high. It's not like if every hit was Mighty Blow, it would be like
No, he hit a
reasonable.
lot with Mighty Blow. In
So
fact, he eventually killed a beastman with Mighty Blow. At least he was a minus movement beastman, so I did not care that much. He was there to die. But yes, how was it? There was a gap, or I was able to make a gap, and I based her Witch Elf Ball Carrier with my tentacles and with 3 another Chaos Warriors. So he is not able to remove the Chaos Warriors basing her, but she just dodges away casually from the tentacles because tentacles were kind of fake skin the entire
it's
game.
like 40% to work, like it's 60% or something to dodge out when it's only
Yeah,
one strength up.
according to the ratio, the success rate that the elves had against my tentacles was 75%. So not as good proportionally as the Snotlings of this ogre team, but yes, definitely better than average. And then he was able to move, make some passes. I think that he made 3 or 4 passes this game. It was kind of silly. All the rolls working for him. And yeah, when he gets the rolls and I cannot do anything, I mean, you just got outplayed and scored by elves. So 2-0, I get the ball and say, okay, let's try to keep it 2-0, at least not 3-0. My Chaos Warrior again fails the roll for the KO. And well, there was a small scrum in which I eventually ended rolling up dub skulls a couple of times. I rolled 4 times dub skulls this game, which, I mean, considering that you are playing Chaos undermanned because you are sending your players off yourself with stupid fouls, was kind of annoying. And eventually he got the ball. It was you see the last turn of this game, you can realize how sucky it was. I mean, he was able to move the ball backwards, make a handoff to a witch. The witch dodges away, makes a pass to another lineman. Yeah, it was just farming SPP on my team. It was kind of how to say. I was feeling totally impotent, but I couldn't do anything because I had gambled all my options into some fouling, and the fouls had exploded in my face, and I didn't have the numbers,
Yeah, like
and I didn't have the skills. I mean, yeah.
When you foul a lot and like use your bribe and keep on fouling, like you didn't really have a bench for each match, if I remember. So you just go down to 9 on your own, and then a couple of injuries from the elves, and you're outmanned, and they can just like dodge around and ignore you because they are elves anyway. And it's even easier when there is less objection on the field.
I'm really impressed that you managed to force like 12 tentacles rolls.
No, of
Your
course.
tentacle player must have been really, really active.
Yeah, he was very active. He was my best asset this game. He was my most killed guy. Once Chloe McClaw was sent to the KO bench in like turn 5 and did not wake up in the entire game. He failed 3 out of 3 KO rolls. eventually. So and yes, I had a witch on the ground, and there was no way I was not trying to remove that player, especially with 3-4 assists for the fouls. I mean, you have to do it
Yeah.
with rookie Bisman, and I had a bribe. The bad luck for me is that 3 out of the 4 first fouls were send offs for no real impact in his team. I mean, only stands. So it was kind of okay.
Yeah,
Fouling is a gamble. It's not a valid strategy. It's a gamble. So I'm not complaining at all. Don't misunderstand me. But it's kind of sucky when things simply don't work.
Yeah.
So in the last turn, I was able to make a pass with one of my players, and that was it. I was able to remove his blots, the player via lucky pow and casual, and made an injury in him with no effect. So he got 2 casualties against with just badly hearts. I got 2, and another one, another beast bites the dust. Another beast is gone. But okay, so look and look at that. What's which elf rolled?
Can
That's
someone
just
burn her?
the top.
Oh.
The top of I know of the cake, the cherry in the cake was kind of what else can you do? You just roll plus strength. It was okay. At least I'm not going to play against him this season anymore.
Dreamify,
Twist.
please kill that. Like, kill that with fire. Kill that, like, burn it to the ground.
Yeah, we could bounty her. Maybe I
Well,
should think of that.
I want to see her career. I'm a fan now.
You're a fan now?
No! We lost him.
Yeah. Yeah.
That-
It was a good
that's-
game. It was a good game. Pete is a very good coach. I was able to defend myself decently. He made a lot of one-day blocks. Well, not that so many, but he made a few of them. All of them worked. At least was not kind of brought down by them. He only had one bad turn in which he snaked a dodge. No,
Oh.
he snaked a go for it. So he burned a reroll in the. But despite that, or besides that, nothing else.
Oh, well, a good
So
game for Pete. Again, because he needed
And
that.
and I think we need to mention with us as record so far. Can you look at the match history?
Well,
That
yeah, I can
match
show.
with us?
He is, well,
Had 2-0, 3-0, 3-0, and 3-0.
plus 11
That's
TDD. I believe Morka had more.
okay.
that's a lot.
Anyway,
That's
I'm starting to think that it's a pretty big ask to get to playoffs for me now. But
I mean, if
well,
he
you never
loses
know, huh?
twice and like someone goes 9-0 or like if someone goes nearly
yeah,
perfect record and he loses a couple of times, you can definitely overcome him. Like the TDD just means that if the records are even, he's probably going to take it.
Yeah.
if I win every game, including 2 games against him, I'm sad.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, he might like have
we're
an
still
abysmal
the
game.
beginning of the season. I mean, it's just how many 9 games more to play, something like
That's
that.
true. Yeah, that's true. He's just
Okay.
looking really unstoppable right now.
Yeah, at the moment, he definitely has the division by the balls. That's
Well,
clear.
I mean, I
Well,
believe in
Tosca
T.
is on the same pace.
Yeah, if Toast wins his match next week, he will also be 4-0, so even.
And Tosca has induced an elf into his team.
I
He can
mean,
do that.
Would you believe that?
it's
He can
not
do that.
really an elf.
It's kind of super strong, super slow elf with mighty blow.
Yeah, like everyone here is an elf, really. If you,
Large player.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. All of them are dead elves. They literally are. It's the players from his old elf team.
Yes.
well, yeah, let's go over the few matches we have for next week as well. First up, Chakwa Lions versus the Sci-Fi Sorry. So that's Rect versus Cthulhu Collector, High Elves versus Lizardmen. How are
Could
the
get
High Elves doing?
interesting.
Ooh,
That could get
Tuga.
interesting, I think.
Yeah, we have quite a nice development from the Hives actually. To guard the 2 Blodgers, because they're still missing a Blitzer, they have the Rog Catcher and a couple of block linemen. do they have a... No, they are going to have a couple of loners as well. 2 loners. So they have been suffering the damage. I assume part of it is Pete's fault. And
Yeah, probably.
they are going up against the Sci-Fi Sorry. They haven't changed at all, I believe, from last week.
Yeah, they
Mm,
didn't have a very good game against me, so there was that.
just an MVP.
Yeah,
So yeah, they
but
came.
they
Go.
were good at defending though. If they hadn't misclicked, things would have looked different. So I think they have a shot.
Ooh. You think that like losing so hard against a different elf team is not going to lower morale, and they probably can pull this one off because there is a lot less dodge, I assume.
It's really hard against 2 elf teams in a row. But so maybe morale is low. Yeah,
Well,
I think he played Pete before he played me.
oh, that's sad times. There is less dodge on this team compared to your team, but there is a lot of blodge. So it's
Yeah,
still hard to knock people down. And the guard can actually be very good against Sorus, because you can actually hit them now.
yeah. And Shack Alliance, they got outplayed, but they got outplayed by like a master coach, so they probably not no slouches either. So
No.
it should be.
It should be a good one. It's like no shame to lose to someone like Pete when he's playing a strong team. One of, like, I know Pete, Dark Elves are one of his strong teams anyway.
Yeah, and the
So,
other team they lost to was Toskai, I think, and that's also a really strong coach.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bit tough for the Lizards, but they can, like, a bit of damage and some luck, and they can pull it off for a
And
win.
they need to learn to move their players before they roll dice.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's key.
yeah, we all do that mistake every once in a while where we really see the play, and like we know this is the play, and we forget to make sure that if we roll double skulls, the play doesn't lose you the game.
That's true.
But yeah, going to be an interesting one. Uh, just up, T lost 2-0, I think. To interdimensional bullshit. It just popped up. It wasn't even confirmed yet, but it seems like
Yeah,
it
this is
was a
new.
full game. Yeah, lots of
Played, huh?
injuries. We'll go back to that in a bit after they confirm, so we can know the aftermath.
Curious.
Yes.
Right.
Next up, House Fairy Ball versus the Intellectual Chaos. So you're up against this Chaos team. 3 block, 2 Mighty Blow, movement 7 with dodge, and a bench. Not much, but a good start for Chaos from Mato, I believe. And
He should be favored, but I was also really impressed by him, so I'm not.
Oh, there's a lot of dodging here, eh?
lots of dodge.
My team is so overpowered right now.
Well,
But
elf
yeah.
teams are really good early on.
I
As a
didn't
whole.
experience that last time around because I didn't develop nearly as fast, but then I was newer, so it's developed really fast apparently.
So yeah, you're going to be like, if you don't get a bench, then you'll be a bit down on TV, but you probably will get either a lineman or the catcher, I think.
Yeah, I would suggest going for an extra catcher to really focus on the speed of the Pro Elves.
Yeah, so like the bad thing for Mato, the good thing for you is that he might have block and mighty blow, but not on the same player. So like the mighty blow might not be that good in this matchup if he cannot really get good targets.
Yeah, so I think I will put dodge players on the line because then we'll have to choose between using block to have a chance to knock them down or mighty blow to hurt them if he knocks them down.
I
Vikingkop?
don't know. For me, Linus Kimmich is fodder position.
Like it's a bit risky because on one hand avoiding mighty blow hits is nice, but even if it's mighty blow and no dodge, it's still not that likely to knock down. It's only 55%, so maybe you can force more dice, especially because it can also be a 1 in 9 if you put non-dodge dudes. But if you do put dodge dudes, you're very likely to have a mighty blow.
Sorry, I just read that has rolled another one in winnings. That makes 8 ones in a row in winnings for his team.
That's impressive.
So that means that he will need like 6 games more to buy another ogre if he keeps this streak.
I mean, if you roll enough ones, you will get enough for an ogre.
Yeah.
And
Small.
sometimes you can even win the fame.
That really sucked.
Yeah. Purty. But yeah, I think this is like I agree with you, Dreamify, that you are favored, but this might get messy if you get a couple of bad first turns with some damage.
Yeah, I gotta trust in the dodge, I
Uh,
think.
but that's every time for elves, and usually it works.
Yeah, I'm basically Amazons with agility 4 right now.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah. And before we go back to the T game, Chaotic Predatory are facing Innuendo Bingo, so that's Chorfs versus Orcs. Another good matchup for the Orcs, probably by
Mm,
default. Lots of
by default, probably yes, because they are strengthened, right?
yeah, strength. They usually have more guard. They
All
do
is pretty
have,
good.
yeah, like they
And
have.
Stickas is a little rusty on. Apparently, he said this after I played Stickas that he has been playing lizards for several years, and this is the first time trying another team, and so it was a bit frustrating going against Pete in his first game, and then me, and
Well, it
so
happens.
Yeah,
yeah, so
Fairly representative if you're
yeah,
not
so
playing elves.
but yeah, so he's hard time with playing not lizards.
yeah, like
And
lizards. Some like playing as a lizard coach that also plays other things. Sometimes playing as lizards feels like playing something else at all, like a different game, because the team is so polarized. Like you either have really strong dudes or really bad skinks. Like that's the two options. So when you actually like play with a team that's so average, at least at the start, it's a bit tough to like you need to commit a lot more to get those blocks and those blitzes than you usually do, and it feels awkward, and you usually are not prepared to position where like you need the assist, and you put the assist but you don't put it in the best spot because you never do that as lizards because you don't need to. Your strength 4 with the Saurus,
right.
and it's like things like that you need to adapt away from lizards, and that's why like when people like often you don't see lizards being recommended as a first team for a coach because they play so differently to the average team because everyone is either strength 4 or a skink.
And he has been playing against really, really good coaches right from the start.
Yeah,
And Macaulay is also pretty darn good, I think. So this is gonna be rough for him, I think.
yeah. For this match they are even on guard, which is not bad. Stickers will have the only mighty blow, which is good. He has a couple of block bull centaurs, which is nice, but he's facing more strength by default because of Black Oaks. They have 4 of them, you only have 2 strength 4s, and 3 out of the 4 have block. So, probably a tough matchup, especially because they are pretty much even on TV. Like, maybe Mikali will be a bit ahead if he gets a bench, but then, like, the Mighty Blow is very unlikely to be able to actually pull you ahead.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, but it would be really cool if he went this way, because I think he could really use the confidence boost.
yeah, it would be nice to see him win. I always want to see the underdog win. Unless the
Yeah,
underdog is playing against me, then I don't want to see the underdog win.
conflicted the whole game.
Yeah, it sucks to be the upper dog at times.
Right.
But yeah, it's going to be an interesting match. A bit like in favor of the Orcs, but it's not too much right now because he does have 2 guards, so he might be able to sneak here a win, especially if,
Right.
with a couple of good hits.
And he has the strength of the bull centaur, so yeah. And he foul with the hobgoblins too.
Yeah, maybe you can like induce a bribe or something with a bit of your bank as well to try and pull an advantage, which I wouldn't really hate. Just
Yeah.
because, like, when you're so down, you kind of want to get a win on the board. But yeah, with that, let's go back to the team match. 2-0 for Toast Guy. Let's see the damage onto both teams. T rolling a 1 on winnings, of course, and losing a Noblar. But he's like pretty much fine, I think. No major damage on anyone important.
This is spam of piling on.
Yeah, I don't hate that, but I like break tackle more than piling on, because
Break
then
tackle and guard.
yeah, guard is actually really good.
Right.
He lost diving tackle Nobler, apparently.
Is guard really good on ogres though?
Guard is really good on any team, like even on ogres, because
No, please, why did you have to ask that, Dreamifi? It's guard and it's your bear. No.
well, like the thing is, like you could ask the same: is guard good on lizards? Because lizards are also really strong, and the answer is like quite easily yes, because yes, like elves will have a tough time hitting you anyway, but when you face orcs, the orcs can hit you back because they also have strength 4. And orcs
Uh-huh.
also
Oh, you're
have
thinking
lots of guard.
you're thinking mostly defensively then,
Yeah,
because I think the big difference between lizards and ogres is that skinks are strength 2. So a skink with the support of guard can get 2 dice fairly easily, but a nobbler is not going to get that.
Yeah,
the
Nobler
guard
is going to get the foul.
like guard
But
is
that guard doesn't help fouls though.
yeah, like guard
But yeah.
is really good defensively, and it's nice offensively when you're playing against a lot of guards. Because if you're outguarded heavily and like you have 2 guard
Right.
Blackhawks holding 2 ogres, then you're in a really bad spot. Because that's half of the strength of your team against 2 Blackhawks, which is definitely not half of the strength of the Orcs.
Yeah, the only, well, one of the few teams in which I wouldn't pick guard, I think ever again, would be halflings. Not even the
Okay.
trees, possibly.
Yeah, like maybe on a halfling guard is good.
Oh, if you get a double in a halfling, you're making him, I know, a bludger or roger, possibly,
Yeah,
kind
but
of
like if you
sucker or kind of ball
have
carrier. Or sure hand save, even.
like when you get lots of doubles, like you could have a blodge sure hands, a ball sucker with like wrestles 3 ball, and the block guard. It's unlikely.
Halflings do not last that much.
Yeah,
That's life, eh?
Team that lasts that long.
But, like-
it's gonna happen at some point.
like it's guard is like pretty fun on a halfling because then you can like dodge the guard into the cage and then blitz into the cage, and it's a 1 dice now against strength 3, which is quite silly.
So you should have one with guard and one with dauntless.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you're asking for doubles, eh? Doubles and doubles and doubles, and doubles
Yeah.
is 1 in 6. Plus also they die.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I get a double in the halfling, first skill I think of is not guard, is dirty player. Come on.
damn it, Vikingkop.
That makes sense.
But yeah. Well, guard is good everywhere, is my point. But that puts Pete and those guy like both play this like the game today, and both are
When are they
4-0.
playing?
Yeah.
When are
So,
they playing? When
like-
are they playing?
Pete won, and those guys just
Chicken.
immediately after comes to him and say,
It'll
"I'm
be
still up
interesting when they
there."
play against each other.
Oh, that's a good question when they are playing each other.
I'm chicken. I'm chicken. The last round before the
Yeah,
before
there
the
is the Swiss.
how is it called? The Swiss. Yeah.
We gotta wait a while then.
But it's going to be a good one.
Be quite developed, both of them probably.
So yeah, we have a lot to look forward to, both for this week, even though 2 matches were played, and for the future. I would like to thank, first of all, Dreamifi for coming here and joining us for this recap. It was a great pleasure to have you.
Inviting me.
You can be our guest whenever you want.
Excellent.
Also, Vikingkop was here and was eating a lot of Cheetos, which was totally not distracting.
No, what no. In fact, I kept my mouth shut while you two were talking. I was distracting eating Cheetos and
Yeah, but
and
sometimes
looking at this
we
bullshit.
heard you eating the Cheetos, and it was just you
Yeah, I
eating.
sometimes sorry, I forget to mute. Okay, it's part of the show.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
it's part of the charm. That's definitely true. But yeah, thank you to everyone that watched. Feels bad, man, to T for rolling another one. And we'll see you next week with another recap of AD. And we're probably going to take a short break before we do the Div 1, Div 2 recap for the people in chat that I know that are waiting for it. So yeah, see you in a bit.